Welcome back to Ricky Jakstef's Amateur Food Reviews. The long-awaited return has finally come. I'm in my room today, not on site, not at location. This is different than most other reviews in that regard, but only in that regard. Otherwise, it's the same. Today we'll be reviewing Oregano's Pizza. I'll be honest, I have no expectations going in. I'm more of a, I'm either getting Domino's or I'm getting some Domino's. Fast food, commercial pizza is more my speed. Let's be real here. I like a good wood-fired pizza. Don't get me wrong, it's yummy. I like good pizza. This is going to be landing what seems to be somewhere in the realm of your local pizza place that's maybe not like gonna blow your mind, but it's good. Several people have recommended this pie to me. I've heard good things about it. Let's go in for a visual. Let's go in for a visual test here. So far, the pie looks nice. Crust is not as thick as I expected. They specified that it was capital O Oregano's thick crust with Oregano's cheese blend. So far, it's looking like a pretty normal slice. Nice heft. I got the Brooklyn's finest. Typically, if you were doing a pizza review, you would want to get a cheese as the golden standard. David Portnoy once said, if you get not a cheese, it's not a real. I'm lying. I don't know if he has any quotes regarding that. Probably, considering he's a pizza review aficionado. But interesting note about this pie. So there's a big wad of pepperoni underneath the cheese, as well as little crispy kremlins on top. I'm personally not a huge under cheese pizza guy, but considering the fact that they have both top and under, I'm more amenable to the idea. Let's just dig right in. One more note: the crust is not overbearing. You see how it doesn't, on a Domino's you might have a fucking inch and a half of crust. On this pie, not the case. It goes quite near to the edge. Going for a bite. Okay. One bite. Everyone knows the rules. A friend of mine said, I'm at my computer desk, by the way, that's why I'm sort of reaching to tap in, do some little on-the-fly research. A friend of mine suggested that I factor in bonus points for zest, funk, and macho. Keep that in mind. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, that's hot. Ooh. Want the crust? This is what the pie looks like, more unadulterated. Bit of a sloppy slice, I'll say that. I'll say right now, that's an asymmetrical slice. One side is obviously heavily skewed towards sizing. Let's not beat around the bush here. That docks something. I don't know how many, how much, but something's getting docked because of that uneven pie job. I'm gonna get another slice for demonstrative purposes here. Okay. Gonna rest this on my behind me. Okay. All right. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of this pie. So, the crust, pleasantly crisp. This is something I find a lot of commercial pizzas and lower on the price range, lower on the bracket pies have in common, is that their crust is generally very doughy, overly thick, not a whole lot of chew, not a whole lot of crisp. But if you go in, you can hear it. A light little crunch. Their pans were probably well oiled. So crust factor, crust isn't like, wonderfully flavorful. It's not a multi-grain. Sometimes when I have a thicker crust, I don't mind a multi-grain because then you taste a little more of that I don't know, fucking barley or some shit, whatever they put in there, like a oat. I don't know. But the crust is good. The sauce, let me just get a little nibble. Sauce is good. Light tang. Maybe not as tangy as I would need it to be. I mean, not need it, but like prefer. But they sprinkle some herb on top. Might be able to see that right there. A little herb. Oregano, maybe, perhaps. A little oregano at oregano's. Pretty good. So, sauce is decent. Nice round flavor. Well salted. It's a well seasoned pie. While the crust doesn't lend too much individual flavor, the little crispy cheese bits and the salt it's all working. Sauce is good. A fair enough amount of it. The inner crust seems to be well bubbled to hold little pockets here and there. See, I was on the fence about this under the cheese pepperoni situation we have on our hands here. However, I think it's working well. The only detractor I can find about it, because of course the meat factor, as it were, that's a large amount of meat. The pepperon, the Brooklyn pepperon, it's all there in every bite, which I appreciate. But also, I feel like I'm missing out on Oregano's quote-unquote signature cheese blend. The oregano, capital O, Oregano's cheese blend. Perhaps it's proprietary, perhaps it's probably just some fucking mozzarella with a little Parmigiano, maybe a Gouda, maybe a provolone, maybe a fucking whatever, who knows. I feel like I'm not really tasting the cheese so much. It's more providing that background savory body. A little bit of texture. You can see the cheese is relatively thin on this pie. It's not overbearing, which is good. Although I feel like Oregano's could have afforded to perhaps have a little bit more cheese with which to compensate for all of this meat. And the crust, while not exceptionally thick by Domino's, Little Caesars, Pizza Hut standards, is still thicker than, of course, your real pizza that you fucking throw it around. I'm gonna get a couple more bites in. Oh, that bite right there. Okay. Admittedly, this slice, pretty nice cheese quota. The sauce is there. You taste the sauce. There's a good amount of it. So I'm not knocking them on the sauce. I don't know. Definitely a leg up from your fast fare that I've been referencing so heavily in this review. Definitely a leg up. And when I say the crust is crisp, when I say the crust is crisp, I mean it's all the way on the bottom. You can hear my little fingernail having a little scratch. You might think my fingernails are overly long. Perhaps you'd be right, but also look at the shape of my finger. I often mention this. I kind of get neurotic about this. It's like my fingernails are long, but also my fingers are shaped in such a way where any amount of growth lends to a certain claw-like quality on my hand. So don't... I don't know. Don't do it. I don't care. You can tell. I don't know why I'm getting all amped up about my fingernails here. This is a good pie. I think I should have gotten a cheese. There's user error on my part, not getting just a plain cheese with which to judge. But all in all, nice crisp on the pepperoni, nice crisp on the crust. Decent enough crust quality dough-wise. Relatively full-bodied sauce. A very reasonable cheese presence and amount of. I'm getting that burnt, not burnt, but you know, those nice toasty bits of the roan or nice toasty bits of the cheese. It's coming in. Typically, I have a hoodie hanging right there. I recently took the hoodie off and wore it. In case you were wondering why there's just a fucking hanger just... And basically, if I was to give this Oregano's Brooklyn's... This is a Brooklyn's finest, they say. Yeah, okay. Brooklyn's finest, yeah, maybe in fucking the alternate universe where Brooklyn is a fucking radioactive pit in the ground, yeah. I'm just kidding. This was a good pie. I want to keep eating it. I'm a little hungry. I'm liking this pie. I think this was a tasty, good pie. I think what Oregano's has for it that many other pizza places do not, even the ones with a more consistent, wood-fired thing going, such as... I mean, the only one in Victoria I've really had is the Prima Strada. It has a very nice ratio of topping, sauce, cheese to the edge of the crust, which not a lot of pizzas do. I hesitate to give this a very high score because I feel as though the fact that it is still a sort of Western-style, thick-crusted pie, it just detracts. Like, let's just be real here. A thin crust with the perfect ratio of cheese and sauce, big wide New York slice. You can't really beat that. Okay, you just can't. This is more, this is a pretty weighty, hefty pie. But it's good. I don't like giving things, anything really, a movie, a game, a book, a piece of pizza. I don't like rating things in the range of 7, because I feel like everyone gives it a 7. Like, oh, it's good. It's better than average, maybe. This is a better than average pie by the, wide median range of what pizza can be these days. Let me just deliberate it with myself for a second. Yeah, I'm willing to give this a 7.2. I think it's good. I think to be improved upon, they could go even thinner on the crust. They could, maybe 7.2 is a little lenient. Maybe I'm more like a 7.6. Yeah, I think so. Detract the 7.2. A rookie mistake on my part to reestablish the score, but regardless, it's a 7.5. Ricky Jakstef signing out.